Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving into something pretty amazing today, the power of dreams. And I'm not just talking about, those images that kind of flash through your mind when you're asleep, but the bigger picture stuff, the aspirations and goals that give your life, real direction.
It is interesting, isn't it, how we use that same word dream for both of those things, the nighttime visions and our deepest desires.
I've never thought of that. I guess it's about possibility, right? Stepping outside of the day-to-day and imagining something more, like what could be.
Exactly, that sense of potential.
To guide us today, we've got some really cool sources. We're pulling from both Buddhist philosophy and psychology.
Oh, that's a great combination.
Yeah, I think so too. Buddhist teachings have this really unique perspective on dreams.
Yeah, Buddhism sees dreams as these seeds of creation, and they can grow into something really extraordinary.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
Dreams as seeds. So if our dreams are like seeds, what kind of garden are we trying to cultivate?
That's where this Buddhist concept of right effort comes in.
Right effort.
Yeah, it's not just enough to have the dream, we need to cultivate it. And that means with intention and action.
So it's not just wishful thinking. It's about taking steps, like real steps, to make those dreams actually happen.
Yes, exactly. The Buddha himself said, what we think, we become.
Wow. Yeah, our minds are pretty powerful.
They are. When we focus our thoughts, our intentions on our dreams, we can start to shape our reality.
It makes me think about that whole visualization thing. You know how just imagining success can actually activate the same neural pathways in the brain as really doing it.
It's like giving your brain a preview of the future you're trying to create. The
Right.
more you visualize, the more real it feels, and the more you believe in it.
So it's like training your mind to see the dream as possible, not just some fantasy, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And that shift in belief, it's crucial. When you really believe in your dream, it's not some distant hope anymore. It becomes a real, tangible goal that you're working towards.
And that ties right back to right effort.
Yes, it does. It's all about taking consistent, purposeful actions that bring that dream to life.
It doesn't have to be these huge leaps either, right?
No. Sometimes the most powerful actions are the small, consistent ones, the ones we do every single day.
Right. You break down the big, scary dream into smaller pieces that feel doable. It reminds me of, when I was learning to play guitar. At first I thought, there's no way I can play a whole song. It felt impossible.
Yeah.
So I just focused on mastering one chord, then another, then another.
Nice.
And every little victory, it kept me going. And it helped me see the bigger picture. Eventually, all those individual chords, they formed, a melody.
That's a perfect example of right effort in action. It's about those little consistent steps.
Yeah.
That build and build until, you reach your goal.
It's like that saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
It does. And that first step, often the most difficult, it takes courage to break free from where you are and to embrace uncertainty. But once you take that step, you set things in motion. That can lead to incredible transformation.
And, it's not just about getting to the destination. It's about the journey and the steps along the way. It shapes us, doesn't it?
It does. You're absolutely right. Buddhist philosophy, it emphasizes that journey. It recognizes that growth and transformation. They're part of pursuing any dream. And it's not always easy. There will be challenges, setbacks, times when you question everything. But it's in those moments you discover your resilience, your strength. It's those challenges, though, that can really teach you, lead to the biggest growth, In Buddhism, we have this concept of impermanence. Everything changes. It's always in flux. Change is just part of life. And accepting that can actually be really freeing.
So instead of looking at setbacks as failures, you see them as chances to learn and adapt.
Yes, exactly. It's about shifting your perspective, that path to your dream. It might not always be straight. You'll hit detours, unexpected turns, maybe even like a U-turn or two. But as long as you're keeping your intention clear and you're open to possibility, you keep moving forward.
I like that. Kind of like those winding paths you find in a beautiful garden, right? You never know what amazing view is waiting around the corner.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Sometimes the detours lead to something even better than you originally planned.
Okay, but let's be real. Sometimes those detours feel less like a scenic route and more like a roadblock. Like you start doubting yourself, right? That inner critic pops up. What if I'm not good enough? Or what if I totally fail? How do we deal with that self-doubt?
The inner critic. We all have one, don't we? It's that voice in our heads. Mindfulness can really help with that.
Mindfulness.
Yeah, it's a key principle in Buddhist philosophy. It's about just observing those thoughts, and feelings with curiosity, without judgment.
So, like, instead of getting caught up in all those what ifs and all that fear, you take a step back.
Yeah,
You just notice the thoughts, but they don't control you.
exactly. Just recognize them as thoughts, not facts. And then gently try to redirect your attention back to your intention, back to those positive emotions that are driving you, the hope, the excitement, the sense of purpose. You have the power to choose which voice you listen to.
So it's about building that awareness, to step back and observe our thoughts
And
without getting tangled up in them.
exactly. And the more you practice mindfulness, the less power those negative thoughts will have over you. They might still pop up, sure, but you'll be better equipped to deal with them.
Our sources also talk about the power of gratitude.
Yes.
That might seem counterintuitive, being grateful when you're facing tough times, but
It's actually incredibly powerful. Gratitude has this amazing way of shifting our perspective. When you focus on what you're grateful for, it cultivates this positive mindset, and that positive energy, it can be magnetic. It attracts more opportunities, more support.
more good things coming your way.
Exactly. More of the good stuff that helps you move closer to your dreams.
It's like what you focus on expands, right? If you're always dwelling on what's wrong or what's missing, you're probably going to get more of that. But if you can appreciate the good stuff, even the little wins, it creates this energy of abundance and joy.
That abundance mindset is so important for achieving any dream. It helps you see possibility where others might just see roadblocks. It helps you keep going even when things get tough. And it honestly just makes the journey more enjoyable.
So we've talked about intention, action, resilience, mindfulness, gratitude.
Yeah.
Where does creativity fit into all of this? It feels like that gets overlooked sometimes. We're talking about goals.
It's so important. Dreams, by their very nature, require creativity. You have to think outside the box, explore new possibilities, come up with new solutions. And that creative energy, it can be contagious. When you share your dreams, you allow yourself to be inspired by others. It creates this ripple effect of innovation and possibility.
Yeah, we're all connected in this web of dreamers, each bringing our own talents and perspectives to the table.
I love that image. And that interconnectedness brings us to another key point, the importance of connection and support. Buddhism talks about right association, surrounding yourself with people who lift you up. But it's more than that. Sharing your dreams, seeking guidance, offering support to others on their journey.
It's like there's this shared humanity in all of this, right? We all have dreams, we all hit bumps in the road, and we all need someone to lean on.
Absolutely. That's where that Buddhist concept of interbeing comes in. It reminds us that we're all connected. Our actions impact each other. Our well-being is tied together. So going after your dreams, it isn't just about personal fulfillment. It's about contributing to something bigger, inspiring others to reach for their potential, creating a more, compassionate and vibrant world.
So as we start to wrap up this dive into dreams, what's one key takeaway, one actionable step our listeners can take today to bring their dreams a little closer?
If I had to choose just one, it would be this. Start small. Break that big dream down into tiny, manageable steps. What's one little action you can do today, right now, that aligns with your vision?
I like that. It shifts you from feeling overwhelmed to empowered.
Right.
Instead of being paralyzed by how big the dream is, you focus on that one little step
And another.
and another.
Exactly. Each step, even the smallest one, it builds momentum, it strengthens your belief, and it brings you closer to your goal. Remember, a journey of 1,000 miles.
Begins with a single step.
Yes! And who knows, that single step could lead you somewhere even more amazing than you ever imagined.
It's those small steps, right? Those daily actions that build up to the dream.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, we've talked a lot about the positive side of pursuing dreams. But what about the downsides? Can we get too attached to the outcome? Cling too tightly to the dream itself? Is there a danger in that?
That is such a great question. You're right, there can be a downside. And it actually brings up a really important idea in Buddhism, which is non-attachment.
Non-attachment.
Yeah, it doesn't mean giving up on your dreams or not caring. It's about, holding on to them lightly. Because things might not go exactly as planned.
So be open to the journey. Embrace the twists and turns, rather than just fixating on a specific result.
Yeah, exactly. When we get too attached to one outcome, it sets us up for, disappointment. We might miss out on other opportunities along the way because we're so focused on that one thing.
It's like trying to force a river to flow straight. Right? It's got to find its own way no matter what.
I love that analogy. And, sometimes that winding path leads to somewhere even more beautiful than we could have imagined.
So how do we cultivate that non-attachment? Can we actually practice that?
Mindfulness is really key here. Being aware of your thoughts, your feelings, your motivations, you start to notice when you're getting too attached to something. It's about bringing this sense of curiosity and openness to the whole process, trusting that there are lessons and opportunities in the journey itself.
So it's like finding that balance. We need the drive, the passion for the dream, but also that, surrender, letting go of expectations and embracing what comes.
You said it perfectly. It is a balance between effort and surrender, striving and allowing. And like any dance, it takes practice.
And maybe that's the beauty of it. This whole journey of pursuing dreams is about learning as you go, growing, and refining your approach.
It is. And it's not about being perfect. It's about embracing the imperfections, the stumbles. Those are opportunities to learn and grow.
So to wrap up this deep dive into the power of dreams, what's one final thought you want to leave our listeners with?
I would say this. Your dreams, they're not just fantasies. They're like whispers of your potential. Invitations to step into a bigger version of yourself. Embrace them. Be courageous. Cultivate them with intention and action. And trust the timing of it all.
Wow, I love that. So to all our listeners out there chasing their own dreams, remember you've got everything you need to make it happen. Keep believing, keep taking those steps, and most importantly, enjoy the ride.
Beautifully said. The world needs your dreams, your talents, your passions, your vision. Go out there and make them a reality, one step at a time.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into the power of dreams. Until next time, everyone, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep reaching for those stars.